This is my 1985 Toyota Hilux. But 3 weeks ago, it looked like this. And in this video, I'm going to show you how a guy with little to no mechanical knowledge can bring life back to an old legend. And later on, we're going to talk about how much this thing cost me to put together. You're watching Lil and Jake. Three weeks ago, I picked up this old Hilux with hopes of turning it into a tough weekend wheeler. I could leave in Tassie to tackle really hard tracks. But once I got the old girl home,
We are. Ew. We're home.
I realised that to get it into some sort of shape that I could use it was a whole lot more than I bargained for.
Look at this Bluetooth shock. No wonder it was bumpy.
You see, it needed a lot of things fixed. Clean on this car. I mean, there's just mold and stuff growing on it, realistically. But not only that, it needed cleaning. So I set about giving it a wash and a vacuum, but that turned into polishing and painting. It's obviously shinier, which is great. I mean, it doesn't need to be. It's not the Mona Lisa. The elephant in the room was the front diff and tail shaft. But I had a plan for that.
How you going, guys? It is one more day working on the Hilux. I mean, we're not working on my Hilux. And I know that's not my Hilux. It's actually my nan's 4Runner. So I'm down here at my nan's place. And my late uncle used to live down here and sort of collect cars a bit, and he used to be into four-wheel drives and stuff, and so is my dad and my uncle and stuff, and that's sort of where I get the four-wheel driving thing from. Anyway, Uncle Kev used to collect a lot of cars, and he used to have a heap of Hiluxes down here. And now I bought that Hilux, I thought to myself, I wonder if I can get some Hilux parts. Unfortunately, over the last couple of years, all of the cars that Uncle Kev collected have been going. But fortunately, there is still this 4Runner left. And I know it doesn't look like much, but the things that I need are a diff. So right there, check, we got one of them. I do need a front tail shaft, so I can't get that, which sucks. I'm gonna grab the rear diff as well, just because spares. But this being a 4Runner, it actually has a cool dash in it, which I'm pulling out at the moment. It's got like the altimeter, which is sick, and then like a cooler cluster. So I'm gonna try and chuck that in it, and the altimeter, which sort of sits like in the pod on top of the dash. But yeah, so first things first, pull this dash out, and then after that, I'm gonna roll the car over on its side, and then that's how we're gonna get to the diffs. All right, so I've successfully got the dash out of this thing, which is great. It was pretty rank in there. So I know you guys are probably looking at this and being like, why would you waste your time? But yes, the Hilux isn't gonna be the nicest thing, but for free, why not? So I got this dash out here, like mine is just horrifically cracked along there. I've got a couple little cracks, but it's not too bad. I'm gonna paint it all up black, and then I'm more excited for this whole altimeter thing. That'll be really cool. Yeah, so now just time to flip it over. Unfortunately, I didn't bring any of my camera gear, so I don't have a tripod or anything. But the plan is I'm just gonna hook a strap around the roof and then pull it this way and yeah, roll it on its side. Look, it's even got the stripes down. I didn't even realize it's got stripes. It matches the Prado. It's meant to be. How was that? We're here, we can see what's going on. Hopefully there's no snakes living in here. I've got a nice area to work though. All right, what have we got here? Hang on. What is that? There's coils in there. What kind of setup is that? Those tires look a bit flat. Oh, that isn't a good sign though.
My plan was here to get the diffs and a few other bits, but after realizing the diffs would not come out with the axle shafts in them, I realized I had to roll the old 4Runner over.
So it looks like it's gonna have to go over on its lid.
One more quarter so I could easily remove them, and they came out a dream. So back onto its wheels went the car, and back home I went.
Morning, legends. It's Saturday. I mean, it doesn't really matter to you guys, but well, actually, if you're watching this video when it came out, it is Saturday as well. For me, it's Saturday, and it's time to work on the Hilux. I've just been working on the Prado a fair bit recently. Sorry, Hazel's barking. Just let her out. So, I've just been working on the Prado all week, and now it's time to get back to the Hilux. So she's ready, she's in the shed, but we do have to go to Super Cheap and grab a few things. One thing I just wanted to show you guys. This is the wheel off the Prado. So it's funny when you see them next to each other, that the Prado, the wheels in this Hilux look so much bigger, but the Prado wheels are like crazy, so much bigger. Anyway, it's funny how like cars put things into different perspective. Because these wheels look big on this thing. I would like to go a big tyre on this one day. But jobs I have to do is I have a full 4Runner dash to put in this. So I'd like to try and swap that over, and hopefully this whole tachometer, whatever your thing works. I know the revs won't work, but maybe one day I could try and hook that up. But this is just a heaps nicer dash than what's in mine. And we also have the... what do you call this thing? Like the altimeter that I want to put in it, because that's pretty cool. So I'm just going to get some paint from Super Cheap and paint this all black, like this whole dash, and then we'll swap it in. Other things, I need a new front diff. So I've got two diffs here that we pulled out the other day. I just need to make sure that this is the same ratio as what's in there, but I won't know until I pull it out. I just can't figure out. I have a feeling that it's not, which will suck, but what can you do about it? But anyway, just thought I'd show you that. It's pretty funny. Look at that though. Do you think that I should get these wheels for this? It would be cool, wouldn't it? Or do you think that's too bling? I don't know. Let me know in the comments.
So right now, this is where the work really started. I pulled the dash out of the car to swap it over with the 4Runner one, but unfortunately the cluster didn't work properly.
Just tried to put this dash in, but it doesn't seem to work. Damn, probably because it's from a 22R, but anyway, you had to try.
So back in went the old one.
Didn't we?
Although I did think afterwards, I prefer the old one with almost 500,000 Ks on it. I think it adds character. But the next thing I wanted to tackle is the car has no articulation or flex due to its heavy duty leaves in the rear. I tried to drive it up this bank next to my house, but it just kept lifting the rear tyre in the air. So into the garage it went, and I started pulling the leaf pack apart. Or packs. It It took a really long time to get all these rusty bolts apart, but to be honest, I don't think there's any amount of rust that can stop WD-40. I ended up pulling one load leaf and one other out of the pack, and trust me, this really helped. Next up, I decided to do two completely different jobs at once. Ripping out the interior and pulling out the old front diff. I really should be cleaning my garage at the moment, but who cares? I'm getting the job done.
Okay guys, so I have painted this floor up. Got it all going, all cleaned up. Time for some sound deadening. So I ended up grabbing this stuff. I actually looked on Temu and all those other places. You can even get it at Bunnings. I don't know what the quality or whatever of it's like, but you can get sound deadening insulation from a lot of different places. But being that we're in Tassie, there was a big weight on it, and I'd already ripped the interior out of this, so I just got what I could get. So it ended up costing me like $180 or something for that. Sorry about all this mess. I've got all the building tools for the backyard at the moment in here, and then all this rubbish that I need to take to the tip. Maybe I should do a clean up first before I get into fixing the car, but I just feel like I want to get it done.
I had my dad swing by and help me with this sound deadening, which helped a heap. This stuff looks pretty cool, to be honest, and I do wish I bought enough to put in the doors,
I'm also just putting these leftover bits inside the doors.
but I can always do that at a later date. Anyways, I got back into installing the interior, and it's just crazy to me how little there is to this car. But once that was done and looking schmick, it was back on to changing the front diff over. And what an absolute relief it was to have that over and done with.
Guys, I can't even explain how relieved I am. Well, I can't actually be relieved yet because I haven't seen whether it works or not. But I've just finished the biggest job I've ever done. Replacing that diff. Now that I've done it once, I would have done it so much differently next time. It would have just been so much easier to actually remove the whole thing. I mean, actually, probably not, but I could have cleaned it and like cleaned the whole diff and done all that kind of stuff and like rebuilt it all. Like I was already there, I may as well have done it. I should have just done like swivel hubs and all that kind of stuff. We are so close away from driving. My tail shaft is coming in the next couple of days, so that's going to be super exciting. The interior is back in, so that's even more exciting. This has been like the last 3 or 4 nights just battling away in the shed. I have destroyed the ground in here. But anyway, tomorrow's another day. I'm going to put diff oil in the front of it. I'm going to put the wheels back on. I'm going to drive it. I've got a timing light. I'm going to get it timed. We are getting there on this thing.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but I just wanted to talk to you guys about today's video sponsor, Campmaster, and their gas spider stove. So, this is the stove that we'll be using to cook on with the Hilux. This thing is so sick. Super compact, real easy to use. All you do is just flip him open like this. Turns out like that. Then you just need a small gas bottle, just like one of these. You pull this out, you whack your gas bottle in, this piece closes back over, then all you need to do, and it lights up. The Campmaster Spider Stove is perfect for anyone wanting a powerful gas cooker but is limited for space. They're super affordable, high quality, and look cool as well. We've been using it for a month or so now and love it. And we've decided it's going to be the cooker of choice for our Hilux. So thank you Campmaster for sponsoring this video. The next week or so flew by working on this bad boy. We tackled so many jobs that were on the list. I got the diff oil in, got a rear rack for the tray, ran a heap of cables throughout the car.
I should just cable time right here. What do you reckon? Just there? I think that'd be a good spot. I was gonna cable tie them to this pipe here, which I'm pretty certain is where all the window washing fluid runs. But I think that I'll cable tie them right here.
So that we could get a dual battery system and get some charging points for the camera gear. I got the timing right, installed the new tail shaft and tail shaft spacer, did a flush on the cooling system. We even had a delivery from Vic Off-Road and chucked some lights on the old
You can
girl.
change the colour of these bits, so I think that I might just go with this colour. That looks a lot more like us. What do you reckon?
And the most important part of the puzzle,
Winch time.
a winch. Because I really think this little unlocked beast is going to need it. To pull others out, of course. So guys, we're back, and what a journey we've been on to get here. The old girl, she's going. She's really going. I've probably put maybe 100, 150 Ks on it so far. Tell you what, it's not a dream to drive. It's just an old car. The steering is just a suggestion. You just, you know, you're like, all right, I want to go left, and then it starts going right, and you're like, well, just give it a bit more, and then it goes left. But I'm happy to say that version 1 of the Hilux is done. So I know we went over a heap of stuff in the video of what we've done, but there's a few things I didn't film and a few things that I left out just because, you know, they were probably a bit boring, you know, like servicing the car and stuff like that. I'm not really going to give you guys an in-depth view on how to do things because I don't really know how to do them myself. So I don't want to just make you guys watch a video of me trying to undo a bolt because I don't have the right tools and I don't know what I'm doing. If you want to watch videos on how to do stuff with cars, you could probably check out TJ and Mac's channel. That's proper shed life. I'm sort of like garage life, maybe we could call me. So I hope you guys enjoy the videos, but I don't want you guys to use my videos as a how-to because I'm just figuring it out, all right? I also want to talk about the fact that this isn't a budget build, and I feel like the budget build thing gets thrown around on YouTube heaps. I've spent barely any money on this car just to get it to where it is. I don't want to call this a budget build because I don't want it to be constrained into just using cheap products, and I think I'm just going to use whatever I feel like. At the moment, a lot of things on this car I have just found in the shed. Like, I've had many four-wheel drives before the Prado, and so many times I'm always changing things and pulling stuff off, and I've just found so many things underneath my house to try and put this car together so that it's, you know, somewhat of a vehicle that I can use. It's not going to be a super tourer. It's supposed to be a car to do hard tracks, but I also want it to have a few creature comforts so that we can do longer trips and still be comfortable, and the two of us can go away and not be roughing it. So anyway, let's have a look around this car. So it's still the 1985 Hilux that I picked up the other week. Not a heap's changed, but I've done a lot of work to it. First things, new indicators. Needed them because they were cracked. Had to change those bad boys over. I have changed all of the valve stems in the tires, which is, I know that's boring, but they were just all pitted and stuffed. Around the front as well, you will see we got some new spotties. So these lights and the winch are from Vic Off-Road. These are just Light Fox 9-inch square ones. I think they're about 220 bucks. So pretty cheap, but super bright. They come with a wiring harness and stuff. I did have on there before the old HIDs, which were just like an eBay special from 10 years ago. and only one had HID and the other had a halogen bulb in it. They weren't really bright and they were just holding on for dear life. So had to swap them out because these bad boys are like candles. Maybe like oil lanterns actually. They're probably a bit brighter than a candle. But anyway, these are sick. And then the 13,000 pound winch. It's a fiery red brand, which is like a Vic off-road brand. And so is Light Fox as well. I haven't used it yet, but it seemed to go in like really, really well. Wireless controller, synthetic rope, all that kind of stuff, all the good gear. But yeah, it looks cool. I really like this sort of, what do you call it? A hook. So I've kept the X-Rocks bar. I've kept this Uniden UHF. I haven't had a chance to use it properly yet, so I hope it works. I've turned it on and I can hear other people, so that's all that matters. Doesn't matter if they hear me. Inside the engine bay, there is a fire-breathing 4-wire engine, which, if you guys don't know, is like a 2.2 litre carbureted motor. They put them in forklifts and Toyota Taragos. It's painted yellow, cat yellow probably, by the looks of it. I didn't really do much in the engine bay except for like serviced it, so just like fluids and filters. I adjusted the timing a little bit and yeah, pretty much just sort of left it how it was. It actually goes really well for what it is. I know it doesn't weigh anything and that's probably the reason why it goes so well. I am sort of concerned about what it's going to be like with water, but we won't know until we use it. And that's tomorrow. This car is going to head up the West Coast. So I really hope it makes it. Fingers crossed. It's going to do more Ks in 3 hours than it's done in the last 3 weeks. Actually, probably in the last 3 years. Yes, definitely a lot more Ks in 3 hours in the last 3 years. I don't know, we'll see how it goes, hey? It's all part of the fun, isn't it? Now, before we get too far, we have a tail shaft. We have a diff in there that actually works with a pinion that's connected. So good. So I just got that spacer from Superior, and then this tail shaft is from eBay. It's a bit of rubber coming off it. I hope that doesn't matter, but anyway, that'll be fine. Don't worry about that. So yeah, new tail shaft, spacer, and old diff, I guess. But it's a new diff to me. Now, interior-wise, I haven't had enough time to get new door panels or make them. So I'd like to try and put full aluminium door panels or something on it and like some cup holders and stuff, get rid of that. But that's in the future. I did swap the dash over for the one that I found in the 4Runner, and then I just painted this up with this paint that you get from Super Cheap. Kept the stereo in it. I have put this battery thing in here that I just had at home. It's like a King's one that is connected to the dual battery, which we'll get later, but there's just, you know, ports and stuff in here and a gauge and USB things and all that kind of stuff, you know. That's pretty sick. Got my altimeter and the pitch and roll thing. I love that. That's really cool. And as you can see in here, I've got the Car Builders wrap on here. To be honest, I don't know if it actually does that much. Just a little bit, but I think I was just expecting it to just make it super quiet. But I mean, it worked. It definitely worked. I will say that. Like it sounds different. I've lost a lot of noise like from the gearbox and the exhaust, which is cool. But I think it's just the wind noise in the cab that really gets me. I don't know. I don't think it'll ever get rid of that. I might try and put some better seals on the doors or I don't know, something. But it's just these little windows here that, you know, I think they just whistle. And like they're cool. These windows are sick, but yeah, they just whistle. I don't know. I think probably just because I'm so used to driving modern cars and I haven't owned an old car for ages, so, and this is actually the oldest car I've ever owned, so that could be why. I know it's not supposed to be like a luxury car, but it'd just be nicer if it was just a little bit quieter.
Oh, I did put some doofers in as well. You got to have doofers, don't you? Now, tray time. If you saw last week's episode, I did talk about how I wanted to put a tub on this, and I still sort of do, so I don't want to spend too much time on the tray. It definitely needs to be painted. Although in saying that, I am really starting to fall in love with the look of how short it is. This tray is only 1900 long, and I think that makes it look real sick on the single cabs car, you know? Like, it just makes this car really short. I'd actually like to measure it. You know what? I'm actually going to measure this car and I'm going to tell you exactly how long it is because that's interesting to me. But yeah, like you see, I put some mud flaps on it, like at the front and the back. This is probably one of the first cars I've owned where the tires actually sit inside the guard and actually are really far away inside the guards as well. And I know you're supposed to do that with legalities, but personally, I like tires to try and sit outside the guards so that when you're four-wheel driving, they're what's hitting the walls and like the ruts and things like that, and they're not breaking into your panels. But I mean, if the tray is hitting, then the tray is hitting, that doesn't matter. So, awning, I haven't actually opened this. My mate Walker gave me this. It's just a Ridge Rider one, I guess. Who knows? Just one of the, not freestanding, not anything blow over in a breath of wind probably. I did chuck a light on here, which is hooked into a factory Toyota switch in there, which says deck lamp, which is sick because this is a deck and that's a lamp. In the world's biggest toolbox I could get. If I do keep the tray, I'd like to get those grey space cases, the plastic ones, and put one either side. I do have two big toolboxes, which are gonna go on it for this weekend's trip, just so that I can carry a bit more gear. But I really like just having this one. So I've got a 120 amp AGM in here, which come out of my dad's caravan because he swapped to lithium. And that's pretty much it in there. It's just straps and things like that. But yeah, world's biggest toolbox. Back here you can see that we've chucked on this chrome hook for extra style points. That's just found that in my dad's house. Mud flaps. I took the tow bar off just because it didn't even have a tow ball on it. It didn't have trailer wiring for it. So it was literally just ruining clearance. Like now we've got a wicked departure angle as we come up through here. It's basically from the end of the chassis, like straight down, like super, super good. So that will be good for off-road. And this is basically what I want this car for. I want it to just be like a side-by-side that I can actually drive to the tracks. I did put a light bar under here, just another one that I had laying around. So I've got that hooked up to another switch in the cab. All those lights are wired to the dual battery, so now I can just leave them on all night. And I also ended up pulling a heap of leaves out here in this rear pack. So, well, sorry, not a heap, but two. But yeah, so I've just left one load leaf in there and I just took one of the other ones out. It actually lowered it a bit, which is good because I don't really want this thing to be a monster truck. I want it to be low and have a bit of flex. I know I'm asking for a lot to have a leaf spring car that flexes, but I have seen them do it online. So if it's on YouTube, then it's possible. All right, guys, I got to get this thing home and pack it so that I can leave for the west coast of Tassie tomorrow, hit some hard tracks. So far on the build list, we bought the car for $4,000. The other thing that I paid for, the tail shaft was 180 bucks. The new indicators were 30 bucks. The sound deadener was 180 bucks. And then I reckon I spent about $300 on other little things. So like, you know, oil filter, air filter oil, windscreen wipers, bulbs. You know, I had to put a new tail light in, just all those sort of little things. The lights on the front, they were $220 and the winch is a $600 winch. They were sponsored to us by Vic Off-Road, so we're just sort of testing them out. But I will count them in the cost because regardless, I would still buy them anyway. Obviously we have reg-owned insurance as well, but I won't really include that because it's just something that every car has to have. If there's anything forgotten, I'll just put it down at the bottom of the screen.
I think that's pretty cheap for a car that I can turnkey and go away in and not wreck my, you know, $90,000 Prado, which I'm probably still going to wreck anyway. I mean, you know us. And to be honest, this has been such a good project for me. The last 3 weeks, I have just pretty much touched every bolt on this car, undone things. I've learnt so much about cars that the knowledge that I've gained in the last 3 weeks is just invaluable, really. I couldn't learn this without working on cars. So I think all that's left to do now is go and wheel this thing. This is going to be a great car for Lil to learn to full drive in. And to be honest, probably a good car for me to just keep forever and, you know, under a tarp in a shed somewhere for 10 years once I'm done with it, and bring it back out and maybe my kids can have it, or who knows. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you want to support the channel, buy yourself a bog tat. We've also got these sick patches as well. That's the best way that you can support the channel. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more of this. And yes, we will be back to traveling in our caravan. This isn't going to be us forever now. This is just a stage in our life. You know, I'm going through a stage. But trip videos coming up next week, and then caravan videos more than likely after that. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. Subscribe. Peace out.